Welcome to Story Time in Seacliff. O'Brien gave us this clue, a little bunny. He could have given us many. There's many animals in the story, but this is what I thought would even be a better clue. Look at these, a pair of white mittens. The name of the story is The Mitten by Jan Brett. We love Jan Brett. So many of her stories are great. So let's see. All right. The story starts out and it is a snowy, snowy day. And the little boy, whose name is James, he wanted to play out in the snow. But notice he's got a hat, he's got a nice sweater and jacket and boots. What he didn't have was a pair of mittens. But he did have a grandmother who was an amazing knitter. She could knit him mittens. So he went to her and he said, Grandma, can you make me a pair of mittens? And she said, of course. And he said, what color? She asked. And he said, I would love a pair of white mittens. Not a good idea. Not a good idea, James, she said. If you drop a white mitten in the snow, in the white snow, you're never going to find it white on white. Not a good plan. But James wanted those snow white mittens so badly, she agreed. After she finished, she said, when you come home, first I'm going to look to see if you're all right, everything is good with you, safe and sound. But then I'm going to look to see if you have both of your snow white mittens. Well, James went off, and it wasn't long until one of the mittens dropped from his pocket onto the ground. And it had been snowing, and he left it and went forward. A little while later, a mole who was very tired from tunneling along, discovered the mitten and pushed his way into the mitten. And then, all of a sudden, a rabbit, that's why that bunny comes into the story, a bunny came along and he noticed the mitten too, and he jumped into the mitten. It was very cozy. A little while later, oh no, guess who came along? A hedgehog. Oh, the hedgehog had very prickly needles, and he pushed his way into that mitten, into that snow white mitten. The bunny moved over, and there was room, the mole and the bunny. Then, oh no, from out of the sky came down an owl. And the owl, oh, look at the talons on that owl. The owl pushed and pushed and pushed its way into the snow white mitten. Well, they were there together for a little while, all those animals, when along came, you guessed it, a badger. And the badger really wanted to get in. So the other animals pushed aside and let him in. Short time later, guess who arrived? A fox. Yes, a fox. Oh, the fox had very, very sharp teeth. And he kind of pushed his way in and told the other animals, move over, move over. And that's what they did. Things were going along pretty well. It was tight, but things were pretty comfortable. Until, oh no, a huge brown bear came along and looked at that mitten and said, "Why, I want to be in there too." And he pushed and he pushed, and that mitten, it stretched and it stretched. And yes, he managed to get inside that mitten with all those animals. That mitten stretched and stretched and stretched. Well, back to our friend James, who suddenly realizes he has lost one of the mittens. He's wondering to himself, what's going to happen next? I don't know if you can see, but after the bear had gotten in, one more animal asked to join the group. It was a tiny little mouse, a very tiny little mouse. And the tiny little mouse sat right on the bear's nose, taking up hardly any room at all. However, his whiskers twitched and twitched, and all of a sudden, ha, 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 achoo went the bear. And when he did, all of the animals in that mitten went flying up into the air, every one of them. And more importantly, guess what else went flying up in the air? You guessed it, everybody, that white mitten. And there he is, James is coming home, and he sees that white mitten falling gently down to the snow. He reached up just before it landed, and he grabbed it. And I don't know if you can tell, but there's the grandma at the window. She's looking. She sees he's safe and sound, and she wonders if he has both those mittens. So when he got down, he walked down, you can see the path he took. He got into the house, and he quickly showed his grandma that he had both mittens. But look at the mittens. One is the same size as it was right from the beginning. The other one stretched and stretched and stretched, was so much bigger. That, of course, was the mitten that all those animals had climbed into. Well, that's the end of the story. And it was a good one, very good one. And I love the white mittens too. Today we have a special birthday of a very special friend of ours. It's our friend Patricia. Now, her birthday was, I guess it was yesterday. I think we're off by one day. Doesn't matter. She'll be happy, I'm sure, to have us sing to her today. She had, I know, a beautiful cake. Her husband Mitch and her son Gabriel and her son Aaron, they all gathered around and sang happy birthday. And today we'll be singing. But we don't know, vanilla or chocolate, correct? All right, let's see what we have written. I think we have a few new, we have a few new people that are voting. All right, for vanilla, we have Teddy and KJ and Scarlett and Clara and Rafa and Henry and Rocky, Joseph, Harris, Maya, Christopher, Marta, Graham, Audrey, and Lila, Hudson, Marlo, Maxine, Lucy, and Frida all wanted vanilla. On our chocolate side, we have Molly and Alice, James and Anna, Martha, Wesley, Ben and Bee, Bevy and Henry, Riley, Tate, Sophia, India, Eliza, Peggy, and Angelica. Let me count. 17 for chocolate, 20 for vanilla. So the cake is a little bit more vanilla. I hope you like vanilla, Patricia. I'm not so sure. I think she does, though. All right? You ready to sing? Okay, O'Brien, get ready. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Patricia. Happy birthday to you. Thank you. Thank you, Oberon. Thank you, Cameraman Dan. And remember, I love you all very, very much.